Have you ever seen someone with beautiful eyes, a perfect nose, and super cute lips, but when you put them all together, something just feels off? You mentioned that you've been getting some negative comments on your webtoon, and I took a look at it, and I think your art is 10 out of 10. It's beautiful, and your dialogue is well written, and each scene is well crafted. But I think it's maybe the bigger picture and some storytelling techniques that might be causing this. So the first issue for me was a lack of emotional attachment to the main character. In the first chapter, we meet one of our main characters, Kale, and he's disillusioned. He's on the battlefield and he's reflecting about the meaninglessness of fighting battles for someone else. Now, this is supposed to draw you in, but at this point, we don't really know him. We don't care about him yet. So I found it a bit hard to connect. Abby Emmons has she has great advice and everything, but for this particular thing, she said it's kind of like watching John Wick, but starting halfway through. Basically, you've missed the most important part, the part that would makes you want to root for him and care about him and stay for the rest of the movie. The second problem for me was the pacing. In some chapters, there's tons of stuff happening, maybe even too much. But in other chapters, the story doesn't really move forward. So I think there could be more balance. And I noticed that especially the denser chapters, those were the ones where the world building is happening. I actually love the story that you crafted about, how the gods gave the powers to humans and then humans got greedy. Then, I'm not going to spoil it, but you did some great lore, great world building here, but dropping all of this in one huge block, it felt a bit like info dumping. So, one thing is the amount of info, and the other thing is the way the lore is presented. I love that you ended by pulling it back to Kale narrating in a pub. I think that part's great. However, having the whole entire chapter be just this narration and then the symbolic images, which were beautiful by the way, but having the whole entire thing in this narration style, it made it feel a little bit like an in-game history class. So if you've seen Freeren, sometimes she'll say, "Oh, we went here with the team with Ilhimal," but sometimes you'll see them go there, as if it was happening in this moment. And this storytelling technique, I think it's called show, don't tell. Your story, especially the world building parts, would benefit greatly from doing a bit more of that. So for your next steps, you did mention that you're open to rewriting what you have. Now, here's what I think your creation process maybe looks like. You jump into drawing pretty quickly, and at first you're super focused, you get a lot done, and then eventually you kind of start losing steam, and then you start second guessing yourself, and then you just kind of abandon the project or put it on hiatus forever. Please do not do that this time. What I really recommend for you is to plan out an arc or, the entire story if you can, but just plan out an arc and only do the thumbnails and, the speech bubbles for each chapter. And then share that draft on Reddit or wherever you can so that you can get some feedback at the very early stages. And then sleep on it, have a second look at it, and once you're satisfied with everything, then move on to rendering the images. In your questions to me, you mainly asked me if the story makes sense, if it's interesting, does it flow okay? And I know that I've been basically roasting your work for however many minutes now, but actually, the panels are beautiful, the dialogues are entertaining, each scene flows very well. So you're doing a fantastic job at this. And what I'm trying to say is don't get discouraged and definitely don't give up. So, yeah, thank you very much for sharing your work with me and best of luck with your future updates. And you guys, if you want your webtoon or comic or manga to be reviewed in a similar fashion, feel free to leave a comment below and I might check it out. Thank you. Thanks for watching.